Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertainers.
Welcome to another episode of the Lords of War News Brief. Today is June 19th and it is 12:47 p.m. I am joined by my co-host Barry. Barry, welcome to the show.
Why did you just do that little laugh first? You went my co-host.
No, I was laughing at because I have my Twitter feed open on my other screen and just people are going wild.
Okay, well, anyways, happy to
that
be
I
here.
want to talk about regardless, but yeah, welcome.
Beautiful day. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. I don't see much new stuff happening from our last episode. We took a break yesterday. Still, we have this issue with Israel and Iran.
Yes.
We got a small update on those Minnesota shootings.
Yeah, very weird update. Somebody has broken into the crime scene. They had where this situation took place. They had it roped off, and they were investigating and all that good stuff. And somebody broke in there, removed the crime tape, the criminal tape, and they were walking around inside. They don't believe they took anything, so that's even weirder because obviously they were there to check on something. I think speculative.
So wait, so is it? This isn't the person who shot them, right? This is like something else.
Well, unless I'm completely mistaken, and I keep meaning to really dig into this story, and I get sidetracked because thank you ADHD. Oh, look, a butterfly, and I keep forgetting. But I think that they have the shooter in custody, the alleged shooter, or they know who it is. They have him in custody. So whoever was poking around there, I think you can assume it may have been a reporter or like an offshoot journalist, independent journalist, maybe looking for a story. But I would think that somebody was looking to clean something up, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean that I saw the report on that, not report. I saw some people talking about that yesterday, and yeah, it's pretty concerning that a crime scene would be violated like that,
and especially something so political. Kind of makes you think about that slanted roof at Butner, and they just washed that right over. And
yeah, and let me tell you, I was with a journalist yesterday, a news anchor actually, for a Spanish TV station, and obviously she's very left wing on TV, but she's very right wing in person.
Oh, so she works for Telemundo.
She works for Univision, which is the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
And we're talking about like some of the details on the case because I mean I haven't really dug in. There's like a whole bunch of other stuff that's been going on, and that's not at the top of my mind right now. But like all the circumstances of this are funky as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
You got two liberal members of the Congress and Senate, respectively. And like those people were supposedly the real story is the guy, right? The guy was hired by Tim Walz, and then they said that he was registered as a Republican, which I find weird because in Minnesota you don't register by party affiliation, and it's not public, anyways. And then he was married, but he was living with this fat slob of a roommate 50 miles away from his workplace. All the details are so sketchy and wrong. And somebody wrote, "Don't worry, Cash and Dan Dash are on it." Yeah, right. Let me put that up on the screen.
Utterly appropriate.
Yeah. So here's another crazy detail. The guy wrote a manifesto, and the media's asking questions, and the authorities are like, no, don't worry about it. There's nothing on there. There's nothing of any relevance on there. Well, if there's nothing of any relevance on there, then just pull it out. If the guy was just talking shit, then just pull it out and just let's see it. Let the public see it.
And see, and it correct from outside looking in, it seems like every time that it's not a MAGA affiliate or anyone they can even perpetrate as a MAGA affiliate, they seem to be very slow in releasing the information. I believe that if this person was definitively a Trump supporter, that MSNBC would not have stopped talking about that at this point. Of course. So that's where I go with it.
And then he had a whole bunch of flyers for the No Kings protests inside his car, which is like, there's so many factors in here that you're like, I don't know what's going on. And that's where you get some of these, I'm going to use the word lightly, like these conspiracy theories, because it leaves so much open to interpretation that somebody could be like, oh, this is CIA. Oh, this is Mossad. Oh, this is the healthcare industry. Oh, this was a follower of, what's that guy that killed the CEO of that Medicare company?
Oh, Luigi, whatever his name is. I don't know. But the left's new hero, the 2025 George Floyd.
Yeah.
Or was that 24 already? I don't know.
Yeah. And then actually there is a story. I'm going to put it up on my Twitter that I found so fucking hilarious. I got to go to my page first. But yeah, this story is so fucking wild. I don't get it. I don't understand too much of it.
Sounds like a perfect story.
And I gotta dig into it. Let me see if I find it. And I wrote that this is a real tweet. It was a tweet by Taylor Lorenz. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can get a little bit of it. And I'm going to share my screen here. Taylor Lorenz tweeted this, I believe, yesterday. On Monday, I reported on anti-ICE protests, right? Which is what everybody's doing. But she's doing it a little different. She is reporting on anti-ICE protests taking over Roblox. For those that don't know, Roblox is a video game, usually geared towards like teenage kids or younger kids. Like adults really don't play it that much. So she wasn't reporting on like the actual anti-ICE protests. She was actually talking about these protests that are happening in a video game, right? One of the kids I interviewed texted me this morning to share that the Roblox protesters are now facing police violence. So you would think, oh, well, maybe like the cops are showing up at these kids' houses and like George Floyding them at their house or some other shit. No, that the kids, there's these other kids, which I think I'm so thankful for. And I guess they're a bunch of trolls. So they get their character, they dress them as cops, and then they go and they shoot these anti-ICE protests. And this is an actual real tweet. And she is genuinely concerned about the violence that's happening in video games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we haven't launched our another show And hopefully we launch it soon. It's called the War Stream. It's where we play video games and talk shit about politicians while we do so. And I see Reno over there already saying that we should play some Roblox tonight and stream. Might be a thing. I don't know if I want to download Roblox. It's just weird. I played some Halo last night. I kicked ass on some of those games. Barry, I know that you're not much of a gamer.
No, but I'm seriously considering it now. All of a sudden, it's sounding really, really fun.
Exactly. You know, and then what's funny is I think I have the tweet here. Above this, I put this as a real tweet. Above this is Mrs. Alyssa Mercante that says, if you organized or attended one of these, speaking of in the video game, I want to talk to you for Rolling Stone. So Alyssa, for those again that don't know, she is a writer for Rolling Stone and Kotaku and Jezebel, obviously, Games Radar. She covers video games and things like that. And she wants to interview some of these people. So I want to admit to Alyssa right now to reach out to me. I was one of those police officers in the Roblox scene, shooting at protesters. And another admission is after I shot them in the video game, I put a knee on their back within the video game. So Alyssa, please reach out to me. I'll give you the scoop and I will tell you all the bad stuff that I did within this video game so I can be prosecuted by the Roblox DOJ.
Thank you for at least acknowledging, because I can already see it now. Enrique Tarrio sentenced to 37 years for murdering protesters.
Because in Minecraft you could like program different things within the game. I wonder if Roblox, like, you could make your own app. And I'm wondering if the Ice Raid team, which is in the comments right now, I wonder if they could make an app that's compatible with Roblox so we could start deporting these individuals and deporting them to their hometown of Roblox, Mexico.
I think this is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Man,
it's retarded. There's so much news going on. Like, why would you focus on like a bunch of little kids playing on there? I know that when we first had the War Stream, we played like a lot of Call of Duty. And it was during the times of those riots, the Summer of Love, because obviously we did not go to the Summer of Love to even counter protest anything that was going on. And I remember on a couple of those streams, we all dressed as like police officers, and we were teabagging our opponents throughout the whole stream while we were talking about some of the things that we saw. So I think we'll be launching that show soon. It's just a timing and scheduling issue, but we will be launching. It's more for a younger crowd. And if you want to join us on some of those games, we will be posting, so you can join us while playing on that stream. And in other news today, let me see if I can pull it up. I'd like to also say that we here on the War Boys Studios are celebrating on this beautiful holiday of Juneteenth. So happy Juneteenth from the War Boys Studios family. We will be celebrating by waiting in a Popeyes line for about 2 hours to get a chicken sandwich. And we will stop by Winn-Dixie and buying some watermelon.
Well, I tried to lobby you guys because I'm not, being a Christian, I was hoping that I was able to purchase my chicken to celebrate from Church's Chicken, because their chicken, they are blessed by the hands of Jesus Christ. So I would rather get my chicken from Church's, if that's okay.
No, so the Lord's Chicken isn't really Church's Chicken. I think the guy's name is Church, so it has nothing to do with Christianity. But I think the real Lord's Chicken is Chick-fil-A. They don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Well, and this is a perfect time to give a shout out to our sponsor, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage, where best barbecue. They will deep fry anything and barbecue anything at the same time while massaging your feet. Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Wow, I never thought that those two went together. But now I'm actually thinking about it. Actually, that would be pretty cool. It's like you're sitting under like the picnic bench, and like there's like some
Just demolishing a slab of ribs.
there's like some old Asian lady like rubbing your feet in the bottom, and then you know what happens after that.
Well, you could be a big fat black dude named Jones. So, you know, whatever.
The happy
you're into,
ending.
buddy.
If it's under the picnic table, the ending it ends. It all ends the same way.
As long as I can keep my wallet at the end of the day, I'm good.
Yeah. So today is the notorious Juneteenth, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Was it the Biden administration that actually made Juneteenth like an official federal holiday?
It was.
Oh,
It was.
wow.
Yeah. You know, I just a real quick thing, a very defining moment that I witnessed in federal prison. There was an officer there that was in charge of the Unicor program, and he was an Army veteran. He was out there. I think he saw combat and everything. And I just remember watching from a distance a scene one day play out where some patriotic Americans, and even one of them was a black dude, were arguing against singing the Black national anthem at the football games. And this Army veteran, correctional officer, was arguing for it, pushing it. And this is a Hispanic officer too, and he was pushing for the Black national anthem. And I just found that very strange, especially him being a somebody that served the nation. And it just, I guess, it goes to show how potent this culture war really is, man.
As a member of the Hispanic community, I'm here to proclaim that the Spanish national anthem is the Star Spangled Banner, and so we need to sing all the national anthems, which means that we would be singing the national anthem twice moving forward for solidarity with our Hispanic community, some of which has been unfortunately deported. Or fortunately deported. But
that's a Gulf of America type move. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Right?
Well, people should riot the streets and demand that happens.
So Columbus Day is trending. I'm guessing people are bitching about it, but it's also Twitter. Yeah, it's definitely Twitter. It's people trolling and saying that they should move Columbus Day to today. Reno's celebrating the right way too. You got a set of Newports to celebrate Martin Luther King. Do you celebrate Martin Luther King today too, or is that's separate? Yeah,
no, I think it's February, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
March, another month.
It's not a thing. I just can't keep up. Like besides like Memorial Day and like Veterans Day, and obviously like your Christmas and all of that. Those are the only ones.
Oh, I know when 4th of July is.
Yeah.
Forget that one.
Yeah. So like those things. And then what's crazy is like we've had all these issues with voting and they haven't made like that day a national holiday so you could stay the fuck out of work so you could go vote. Because then you'd get more working people voting, which means more conservatives voting. And I think it's a thing that we should be pushing. And I think it's a thing that the Congress should be pushing, but they can't even get anything right. So I don't expect it to happen. I do want to talk a little bit. Do you have anything else on the plate?
No, as far as that, just waiting to graze over this Iran-Israel thing.
Yeah. So, and that's where I'm going with it. I might have to step aside a second to get my charger for my laptop. I'll wait like 5 minutes, but regardless of the fact, I think that, go ahead. I'm going to remove myself off the screen for a second.
All right.
So I could get the charger, my laptop. It's going to take me like 2-3 minutes.
Do your thing. I will go on a rant about this Phoenix plane that took off. I think that's the name of it.
Phoenix?
Yeah, apparently there's some plane that took off from an Air Force base that it's only designed to assess nuclear damage and detect nuclear capabilities and readiness and people preparing. And it took off. It's headed that direction. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That's very ominous.
I'll leave you to the Phoenix plane, which reminds me of the X-Men, but
I could be getting. I think that's the name of it. I don't know. Whatever.
All right.
We're not professionals. Everyone knows that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is when you take the time right now to follow at The American Rise here on X. I have my own show. My name is Barry Ramey, and I'm the host of it. That's my super awesome sign in the back. It represents the name of the show. You see the name down there, at The American Rise. Take a minute to follow the show so we can finally get off of Enrique's awesome feed. But nonetheless, this Iraqi situation is definitely something that the world is watching, and here we go again, right? I know that I'm not the only one thinking this. I believe soon to come, you're going to see the radical left and their endless supply of monies, which hopefully are running dry due to the USA discovery. But I think they're going to start to attach this Iran and Israel debacle and begin to bring it into the anti-ICE protest and turn it into this one big clusterfuck before the primaries to try to convince on the fence voters that all of the chaos they see funded and fueled by them, along with their apparatuses in the fucking media, is somehow Donald Trump's fault because he's the president. We've seen the same shit play out before, and I believe that we're going to see it again because it's really the only fucking play they got when you think about it. So I want you to be ready for that. You're going to see Columbia University and the fucking trash baskets at Harvard and Yale start to funnel and slowly let it trickle into their campuses, and turn the immigration protest up a notch by using that fuel. And we've seen it. So back to Iran, and I'm going to bring up this lovely son of a ginger bitch, Shane Jenkins. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Happy to be here. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's kind of okay because in good fashion, today is Juneteenth, I think is the name of it.
Oh, that is right.
And being on time is racist. So the fact that you were late shows that you are acknowledging your white guilt and the oppression that your white skin puts on the minority communities throughout this great country. So I appreciate you being late in protest. Thank you.
Actually, you're incorrect because there is a TikTok trend that says all gingers are actually black. So that's why you're late. I'm right on. I'm on time because I'm technically black, so I'm on time right now.
Now, you do know that as far as our brotherhood and fraternity goes, we're never going to let you live that down. Just ask Enrique.
No, I mean, you as it should be. I have 5 kids by 5 different women, been to prison multiple times.
All right, now you're just making this realistic, and I do appreciate it. It's kind of funny, actually.
It makes sense. I mean, So.
All right, this is pretty telling considering we're talking about Juneteenth. Enrique took a cig break, so it's on you and I to continue this conversation about Iran and Israel. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Have you been paying attention to the escalation recently?
I mean, I've seen it going down, and I feel like I just am so hopeful that we do not get drug into that. I don't care what
we already are.
Are we? I mean, I'm sure we are behind the scenes. I'm sure we have SS Special Forces out there like calling out airstrikes for people and stuff like that. But man, do not put our sons and daughters on that battlefield over there. That has nothing to do with us. I just Trump made a promise he wasn't going to get us in any more wars, and we're calling you out, President Trump. We love you, we support you, we do anything for you, but we want you to honor that promise. Unless they do something to us here or attack our troops somewhere else, stay out of it.
Well, here's now. I even though I agree with you. Everything you said is correct. At the same time, does it negate the fact that Iran is an actual threat to America? Does it negate the fact that they teach their kids in school to chant death to America at lunchtime?
Right.
Does it negate the fact that they are becoming more and more nuclear capable and at the same time have children chanting death to America? So,
I mean,
at what point,
they said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, that they were, the next big thing, and they never really showed us that. And I've heard that, and it's been this ongoing theme for Iran that they've had the nuclear, they're 2 weeks away for the last, 15, 20 years. And they never have really broken that threshold. I've heard, I haven't verified these sources, but I have heard that Iran has no desire to obtain a nuclear weapon, and that may be false on its face, but I hope that's the truth, and I hope that.
Yeah, well, who told you that? MSNBC?
Of course.
Okay, I'm back from my cigarette break, which usually, my type doesn't come back from going to get cigarettes.
How do you feel? You feel better?
I feel better.
Good.
I feel like
Smoking your Newports or what?
I don't smoke Newports.
Racist.
Which I should buy a pack of Newports to celebrate.
Cool.
Actually, I think they stopped that. They were going to make them illegal or something because of the menthol, which I think.
Oh yeah.
Racist.
Yeah. As a person who owned a gas station in the middle of the hood back in
also racist. We can do this all day, guys.
I can tell you that I
wore a turban.
It was
back
hard
then.
to keep Newports on the shelves. But getting into this subject, I was listening in while I was obviously outside.
Voyeurism.
Because I can't smoke here, which is I was supposed to be in the studio, but I ran a little late and I had to do a show at 11. And somebody else just joined. It's Kim. I'll wait for her to set up before.
Hell yeah.
In. So there's a nuanced
funny.
approach, and I think that there's a nuanced approach to this whole situation. I have by what I see, I have a very unique view on the situation that's unfolding in the Middle East. I wouldn't call it a war, so much so a conflict right now, because it's not, they're throwing missiles at each other.
Right.
Also, what constitutes a ground war right now is very difficult. And actually, a ground war in Iran would be very difficult for Israel to accomplish things because of the way that the borders are set up, the way the mountain regions. It's a fortress, and the only way to get in would be through paratrooper. Is basically the only way to get into Iran. Will that happen? I don't know.
Israel.
But I do see the sentiment, and I do see the sentiment, and I'm 100% with it, that I don't want to see U.S. troops involved in what's going on. And I don't think that there's, besides Lindsey Graham and a couple others, I don't think anybody's advocating for it. But I do see, because we've touched on the Israel-Iran thing, and nothing's really changed. They've been bombing each other. But I want to talk about something that is fascinating to me, and it's kept me glued to Twitter for the past couple of days. And it's like the infighting within the MAGA community on what the stated position is. And I think that both positions are wrong. The majority of people are taking this side and stating that in some way that if you are pro-Israel attacking Iran, that somehow you are a Mossad agent, somewhat of like this shill for Israel. And on the other hand, you have people that are genuinely, well, no, I'm not going to say genuinely, because that's the third group. And then you have these people that on the opposite end that say that if you're anti this conflict, that you are somehow anti-Semitic, and both of them are completely wrong in tearing each other apart, is what I'm seeing on Twitter. Kim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of moving parts here, and either side, both sides are not advocating for troops on the ground. There isn't a single person. So when you say, hey, I'm pro this side or that side, it doesn't mean that you're pro either one. It just means like you have this stance. So I see people tearing each other apart, killing friendships that have been friends for a very long time. That's why I kind of stay out of it, and I kind of shit post. So I'll start with Kim, since you just came in. I don't know if you've been keeping up with Twitterverse when it comes to some of this, and what do you think of it?
I mean, I'm really close to just muting all words relating to Israel and Iran. I'm really not going to lie to you, because I think if you're a fundamentally honest person as an America First patriot, the winning position is I'm not on either side, and as you said already, I'm not pro putting American anything there. We already send more than enough money to Israel. We should be not doing that as well. But that's not. I don't need to take a side because number one, it's not my area of expertise, and I'm not going to suddenly pretend I am because it's the trending news. And number two, I'm not going to pretend that I'm pro anything but America becoming better. And America's not going to become better if we're throwing in efforts for a war that we should have no skin in.
Yeah. And a lot of people that are anti-intervention, right? And this is my view on it. If you're anti-intervention and your main purpose is that there's no U.S. troops on the ground or U.S. troop involvement, then you should, how do I say this? You should not care. If you're an anti-interventionist, right, you should not care what the fuck's going on in the Middle East, because I really don't care what's going on in the Middle East right now. And on the last show on Tuesday, we talked about like, how far are you willing to go? And we went through that, and you two are joining us actually for the first time on the morning show. And just to give you guys that are watching, because I have some questions in the audience, like who's Kim? Kim is War Boys Studios host. She will be hosting a Rumble exclusive show today. At what time is that, Kim?
It's going to be on Friday at 2:30.
Friday at 2:30. I'm sorry, not today, tomorrow. Friday at 2:30. And then Shane actually goes, his show runs Chestnut Checkers, runs on Mondays at 7 p.m. Am I correct on that, Shane?
Yes, sir. 7 to 9 usually.
So, and just to tell you about this show, this news brief, this is more of a War Boys Studios community show where all of our hosts are welcome to join in. It runs about 4 times a week, sometimes at 11:45, sometimes at 12:45. But back on the subject, Shane, how do you see the Twitterverse and this conflict that we have internally on picking a side?
I've kind of been watching from a distance because I got to go visit Bart Shively and deal with all that, and that was an emotionally trying experience. So I kind of indulged a little bit to numb what I was feeling out there. So I've been kind of, distantly watching this bombing back and forth. And like you kind of hit it on the head, I think, when you say they're lobbing missiles at each other. And they've been doing that, I guess maybe not Iran, but other people, Hezbollah or whoever it is, have been doing this back and forth forever. And it's not like until you have people actually on the ground going into somebody's country, then maybe it's a little bit different. Maybe they knock out Iran's nuclear capability if they actually have it. And I'm okay with that, but I definitely don't see the need for us to fund it. I don't see the need for us to indulge in it. And I really don't think it matters in the scheme of things. Now, obviously they burned the American flag in their parliament or whatever you call that, whatever it was.
Yes.
But like Barry says, they teach them to say death to America and all. And I think there is maybe a crusade coming in the future, but I think it's today? Absolutely not. And I mean, is this an opportunity we could take to just crush Iran because they're going to be a future problem? Possibly, yeah. And I might be okay if they would state that, like, hey, we're gonna nip this in the bud before it gets out of control. They could probably sell me on that. I would not necessarily like it, but I can understand it because we want to be proactive. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be proactive in protecting America and its citizens and from terrorist attacks or whatever it is on the ground. But they're definitely not going to invade America. Now they may do some cowardly, behind the back, blow some stuff up or release some kind of toxin or something here in America,
or Mossad might do a false flag to try to get
yeah, and then blame it on Iran. Then we would go and blow them up. Whatever, So I just am, I used to be, they play all these patriotic videos like, we're going to kill the enemy, and I used to get into all that, but now, you see the collateral damage from that, and we're sending our people home with legs and arms missing and PTSD and suicide rates out of this world. And I just want us to maneuver very intentionally and thoughtfully throughout the world and not just be caught up in emotion and what they're showing you on TV, because 9 times out of 10, what you're seeing on TV is somebody spinning the narrative to what they want to try to motivate you into. And so I would act with caution for sure.
Yeah. Barry?
Pull your bootstraps up, ladies and gentlemen, and realize what's going to be happening here. The best case scenario, I believe, is the Iranian people and this is something a lot of people don't know, as early as the 70s, were a very modernized people. Women weren't dressed in black from head to toe. They had Louis Vuitton bags and they were listening to Bruce Springsteen. That part on them sucks, but the rest of it is just very modern. And I do believe that there's the people that are oppressed there, unlike the overprivileged little fucking bastards running around America on college campuses claiming to be oppressed. These people are oppressed by a very oppressive regime. They're thirsty, they're hungry, and they have made many attempts in the past to rectify their situation within their own government, and they did it alone. So again, I go back to what Winston Churchill once said, that is what is falling must be pushed. I believe that was Winston Churchill, but what do I know? I'm a community college dropout. But if we can cut the head off a devil that chants death to America, and we don't have to put boots in the ground, and the people rise up and take the shit back, that's all. I'm all for it, man, because I after 9/11, I tend to take people, when they say death to America, I take them pretty fucking seriously.
So I want to touch on this. This tweet from Alex Jones got quite the traction. Because of it, I pulled $1 out of my Alex Jones was always right jar, which is massive. Along with my Laura Loomer was always right jar, which sometimes I got to take a couple dollars out of Laura's.
She does come with receipts a lot, though, man.
She does. But this one struck me. Right?
I got a question about her later on.
Okay. I bet you do.
All right, I bet you do.
Or him.
Oh, come on. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. All right, we haven't even got over Brittany Griner yet. We need to stay there, one thing at a time.
So this tweet kind of struck me because if you read it,
oh no,
he's basically saying what you voted for, we voted for Donald Trump, and what you got is a blonde-haired George W. Bush. I think it's inaccurate, and I think right now he shouldn't have posted it, but obviously he has a freedom to post it. You could have genuine concern for the war, but he's not George Bush. And I want to talk a little bit about foreign policy. The crux of every country's foreign policy, whether it's the modern world or if we go back to the Roman Empire, the crux of foreign policy and creating successful foreign policy is the ability of your country to commit mass acts of violence, right? If you don't have the ability to do that, you have nothing at the negotiating table. You can't win at the negotiating table something that you can't win on the battlefield. You can't expect it to happen. So posturing is also important. Do we have the tools to commit massive acts of violence against other countries? Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
That is why we are the most powerful country in the world when it comes to our military. It doesn't mean that we should use it for evil, but the posturing of the president has been extremely aggressive. And also, it hasn't come as a surprise either, because a lot of people that say that they didn't vote for new wars are 100% right. And the president has not stated that he's in for new wars. But you cannot negotiate through peaceful means. He's been trying to get the president of the Iranian government specifically to come to the negotiating table to establish peace and to stop, I wouldn't say them from getting a nuclear weapon, but there is truth in the fact that they are enriching uranium at a rate that it's not for the use of the populace for power.
But which is also a tool in their negotiating, because they can say we have not pursued the weapon yet, but however, we have the capability because we have the raw materials to do so, which is also could be considered a tactic for them to say, like you said, if you don't come to the table with something, then you got nothing.
I'm 100% with you here on their Iran's self-interest is Iran, and specifically, I think it's self-interest to the Ayatollah and the rest of the cronies over there. So they are using this tactic where they have an aggressive posturing. But one thing is certain: the American government can go in there and turn that shit into a parking lot, right? and I think I fully support the use of aggression in posturing in order to achieve those goals of peace in the Middle East. I do support the Israeli attack on Iran because it's in their self-interest to do so. And we go back. I always have to pretense it, and it's stupid that I have to pretense this. I am not, and we've said it multiple times, I am not advocating for the United States to step in. Am I okay with the United States providing intelligence for Israeli strikes? Absolutely. I think it's necessary. So turning on the president, and I don't think that's what Alex is doing also. Like, I don't want to overblow this. I don't think that's what Alex is doing, because things like this are also necessary. The posturing is also necessary to create the pressure.
That's right.
So you can't be mad at Alex for this post. I wish he didn't post it, but you can't be mad at Alex for this post because he is also posturing. So we won't get involved in this conflict.
Isn't this kind of like a sign of the times that we live in, though, that this genuinely has high potential to get Donald Trump's attention and raise the concern of what a lot of people are concerned about? And this is the times we live in. This is how let's make no mistake about it. Donald Trump learns from us through social media, our reactions to things. He listens to us through social media. So it may be, bad taste, bad timing, but I bet you he listened.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think I completely agree with you. And if anything we know to be true about Donald Trump, it's the art of the deal. And when you come in hot and you're like setting the, this is way up here, and then we're going to work our way down to where probably reality is, and this is the deal that's going to be made. But I think you have to posture specifically for this and say, and like he told him, he said, we know where you're at, we know what bunker you're in, we could end it right now, but we're not, and so I think that lets them know, hey, we've got your number if we want to call it, but we're going to give you an opportunity. And I think that's what we're seeing is more posturing than anything else, honestly.
Yep.
And if you could posture all you want, but if people don't believe you have the testicular fortitude to follow through, then your posture means shit. And well, we know not to fuck around and find out. Daddy's back, To
piggyback off of that point even more, being peaceful means nothing unless you're capable of extreme violence. If you're not capable of extreme violence, you're not a peaceful person by choice. You're peaceful because you have to be, and that's not a virtue. Right. Being able to express and exude a great deal of aggression and a great deal of force and not doing so in the best interest is peace. And again, goes off of what you were saying, Enrique, about being able to achieve peace through being able to basically flex the force that we can use if you won't do so.
Yeah,
oh, for sure.
And that what you just said is 100% true. I think that we need to take a step back. We've trusted Trump since 2016, and I'm not asking for like blind trust. But I also want people to understand like the president's position. There's also things that we don't know about. He gets briefings from his NSA team all the time, and I'm thankful for Laura Loomer for taking out those rhinos within that group and getting them fired. But I just don't think, I think people should just take a step back from fighting with each other and just kind of understand that people just don't want war.
Did you say real quick, the people confuse trust and respect. They're not the same thing. Respect is earned based on your actions and the things you do. Go take another cig break. Respect is earned. Okay. That's what it is. Trust is given. It's the whole definition of trust. I'm trusting you to do the right thing. You could let me down, and I'm taking that risk and rolling those dice. Respect is earned. And I think Donald Trump has earned our respect 10 times over to afford a little bit of trust. But I don't think that, I believe that being cautious, and these politicians are rental cars, guys. They are supposed to do the job for the people. And the minute they fail to fucking do that, you get off of them and you replace the car. That's so right. Donald Trump is not exempt from that. He's just done a really fucking good job of batting 1,000 when it comes to respect and trust. I'm sure there's people that disagree. And one of them just joined us right now. Welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Patty from Patty Don't Serve. How are you, brother? Fuck yeah, dude.
Was that a Nazi salute? I just heard?
I think that was Kim. What do you say to Nazi salute? There goes monetization on YouTube.
His heart
Hey,
what's that
over there? I can't see. I can't.
That's
About
Kyle
this tall?
Yeah.
That's
Have you
okay.
seen Kyle? Has anyone seen Kyle? He's about this tall. Welcome everybody. How's everyone's day going, Patty? How are you doing, bro?
Good afternoon.
Long time no see, dude.
Let's go back to the Minnesota thing. And Kim, I'm interested to know because this is my laziness is on full display. I'm very interested in this fucking story, yet have done nothing to really research into it. Going back to Minnesota, Patty, do you still feel that the person, the assassin, is a conservative?
Well, I don't like applying the word conservative to people who were just right-wing fucking lunatics. Yeah. Okay, exactly right. Exactly right. Because conservative, I think, is a legitimate, political
You're right.
position. And I'm not going to throw that on this guy. But he is a hardcore right-winger. I mean, there's plenty of paper trail on this. So it's not as if we have to guess. And he is definitely going to have his day in court and say what he's going to want to say. And what he is going to say is, I killed these people because they supported abortion rights. That's the bottom line. And, there is no doubt about that. So,
there's doubt, though, isn't there?
No,
absolutely. There's doubt. I got something to say about it.
You can create some doubt about that, but what I'm saying is there is no legitimate doubt about that.
Now, Patty, we respect people's opinions and points of views here on the War Boys.
It's not like
absolutely not. I don't. What are you talking about? I would not have been asked to do a show on this network if I respected.
This is exactly why. This is exactly why you weren't invited to the treasure chest last Friday, Patty.
Wait, treasure chest. Did I miss that too? Because I feel like
was that Kim's fucking seek help little event that happened? I don't know what that was. Like, sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
Patty, have you seen the picture of the guy and the resist with the pistol in his hand, and then he's with the girl that says, "I think, therefore, I am a Democrat"? Like, have you seen those pictures yet? And did you know that they do not register by party in Minnesota? So there's no way for him to have registered to identify whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. So
he is going to tell you. He would look that. You just wait for this guy to talk,
you think he's gonna
and then we'll talk, right? Because the man is going to say he killed these people because of their position on abortion. He's going to say that. I don't have to do it for him. I'm just going to let him do it. He will do it.
Okay.
He voted with the Republicans in Minnesota, so why would they turn around and have them assassinated? That's what I was wondering.
No, I'm saying that I'm not saying that Republicans are guilty for his crimes or conservatives are guilty for his crimes. I'm not doing that. All right. I'm just saying the guy's a right winger. It's a fact. It's not an option. It's him being a liberal is not an option on the menu. It just isn't.
Just a little bit more.
The Republicans aren't the ones that assassinate people, from what I've been seeing lately or ever. I don't think.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out.
I'm interested. I can't sit here and pretend like I know. So I want to argue with Patty. I really do, but I can't because I don't have the information to do so. So
okay, I sent you guys some pictures of the dude. I sent you one, Enrique, and you one, Barry. But so you guys can look at it. It's free.
Well, I will tell this. Look,
why does the crow on the bottom say the world is really old, and so is Nancy Pelosi? I just saw that.
That's just scientific facts. Is all that is.
She's a right winger too.
I really wish this didn't happen. I don't care who did it. This is terrible. No one deserves to die for their political views. Period. Okay, but it happened,
except for Enrique.
Except for, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, those we don't even have to talk about that. We know. But the point is, like, I don't want to. It happened.
Give me a thumbs up.
And obviously, now that it happened, I don't want it to be my side, just like you don't want it to be your side. And that's just human fucking nature. Let's just let you know. So
that's right.
And I don't want this to be a MAGA or a Republican or be able. I don't want the liberal media to be able to use this against Donald Trump and his America First agenda.
We've gotten so fucked up.
Now here's what I'll say. Now what I will say, just to be fair. That if the picture I saw of the No Kings protest flyers are real in the back of his car, they kind of do look like they were purposely made. Like they're all just permanent marker, no kings. That's all they say. Little stacks. Like couldn't even take the fucking time to go to Office Depot for 10-cent prints. He did them all his fucking self with a jumbo king size Sharpie, bro. Like, I don't know. Seems a little deliberate, but like you said, let's see. I really hope it was a fucking left wing loon because I want to make fun of it.
The guy's got a long history of going. He went to the Congo a few years ago and gave some speeches about how homosexuality is something you should be executed for, things of that nature. It's typical, really hard right wing shit. The guy, I'm not worried. I am not worried for 1 second that this guy's going to come back a liberal. He's not. But even if he did, we can all agree that this is not acceptable. I mean, this is 100%. I'm not saying that any of you guys think it is.
Jewish space lasers. Was he in possession of Jewish space lasers?
I have Jewish space lasers.
But he wasn't that fucking right wing if he did.
We've come to a point, and it sucks. We've come to a point in politics that like one of these like mass shootings happen, or like what happened in Minnesota happens, and we're like, I hope it's not my team.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I know.
It's terrible.
It's like we're keeping tally marks on a board somewhere, and it's like, how many of us versus?
Yeah. No,
I mean, you even see whites and blacks doing that with school shootings versus just random gangbanger, because now they're all mass shootings. So we're all like arguing with each other. Yo, Billy went in there and fucking murked like 10 kids, dude. All right, for no reason. Yeah, but Jamal just murked like 72 Jamals in a weekend in Chicago. So now,
don't you know per capita?
It's
only one of them will be on the news.
It's still happening.
Yeah, that's true. Only one of them will be on the news, and only one of them will inspire riots, and only one of them, will erect statues
or unerect them.
Let me.
One of them will cause erections.
Which brings me to the second thing that we brought up in the show when it was just me and Barry. How are you guys celebrating Juneteenth?
Patty, I'm interested in your response to that. I don't know why.
Wait a minute, is today Juneteenth?
He's got a glory hole set up.
Do you not care about what happened? Do you not care?
Insensitive.
Wow,
white
dude.
guilt.
Wow.
Demon.
Unaware that today was Juneteenth.
Wow.
Nazi.
That's worse than not remembering Memorial or Veterans Day.
You'd think you're from the party that created the KKK or something.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fought to keep slavery in the Civil War.
Hey, which brings me. So
goddamn Lincoln Democrats.
And it's actually trending right now. The Emancipation Proclamation. I'm going to give you my take on the Emancipation Proclamation.
It freed absolutely nobody.
Exactly.
Lincoln forgot to sign it.
If you read the document, it sounds like a petty ass document. Like the first four sentences are kind of like, yeah, fuck you, we beat you, so we're only not allowing you to have slaves. Right? Have you guys read?
The Emancipation Proclamation freed nobody in that it already declared people to be free who were already free. The South was in rebellion; it didn't apply to them, so therefore it freed nobody. It didn't.
Yeah, but
nobody was free.
It's a bad PR move from whoever.
Well,
this thing. Because
it's at least a Republican who can read and write, which is unusual now. But yeah, it was. It was interesting.
Patty's a colonizer.
Yeah, this person can't spell, obviously, because that's not how you spell Patty.
They meant you're a colonizer. You like
colonizer.
Colonizer.
That's how you spell a woman's name, motherfucker. That's not how you spell my name.
Oh, you're a sexist too? You fascist piece of Democrat shit.
Hey, I had a question, Enrique. So I don't know if you guys have seen, and maybe y'all have this scheduled for later, but there was two things about the January 6th movement. One was about how they were going after Donald Trump for participating in the Justice for All song, and then the other was, golly, what's the guy from Just the News? Just the News came out and they said that Chuck Grassley has information that China and Iran did indeed interfere in the 2020 election. So
it's funny that you mentioned that, because Iran did. Maybe it's another reason why I don't care if Israel blows Iran off the map.
Do you want me to look for that story while you're telling it?
Yeah, please.
Show it. All right.
And wait, while you look for it, I just want to read the beginning paragraph of the Emancipation Proclamation. That on the first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then thenceforth and forever free. Meaning, I'm going to cut it off there, but like they're specific, and it goes back to like this PR move. Like, why don't you just say that, hey, we freed the slaves and so do you, so are you, motherfucker. They're like, nah, you're gonna free your slaves, we can keep ours.
I wonder how many people actually held on to their slaves after that, like, and were like, over my dead body.
Yeah,
I remember watching a thing on Family Guy, and there was this dude. They know how they always like cut to those little like scenes that describe what they're talking or thinking about or remembering something. And there was a guy mowing his lawn, and his neighbor comes out of the house to get his paper and goes, "Hey, how you doing, Jim? Good morning." And he looks over and he goes, "It was Lincoln." He goes, "Yeah, motherfucker, I used to have a guy for this." And that was
That's freaking funny.
Hey, so do you got that article?
I do. Let me go ahead. It's Reuters too, man.
Yeah, it is a Reuters story. So to answer, I mean, I guess on a personal level, because there is a lot of things that came out in the past couple of days in reference to Iran and can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah.
Just hit control and scroll your mouse just so I could get the headline at least. Oh wait, that just zooms it in. Okay, so in after the stand by comment, obviously the Proud Boys they blew up. You know, it officially became a household name after that.
Okay, I was about to say, can you define blow up? Because I can see it now. Enrique Tarrio said the Proud Boys are blowing things up.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So what they did was the Iranian government. I wake up one morning and I get a call from the FBI asking questions about emails. At that very time, they knew that we didn't send the emails, but some emails were sent to Democratic voters. It became a big story in Ocala, Florida, specifically because a lot of those emails went there specifically. And it was basically telling these Democratic voters that if they show up to the poll, that Proud Boys were going to beat their ass. In Ocala, Florida. I'm getting a little feedback.
Sorry, that was me, my man.
That's okay. And so what ended up happening is the Iranian government spoofed the Proud Boys email and put it was info@proudboysusa.com. But if you dig into the email, you'll see that the email address was spoofed. And it was a horrible morning for me because I woke up to a call from the FBI. All the news stations were calling me. And I took it upon myself. I started calling the supervisor of elections in multiple counties, specifically in the one on Ocala, and I was able to get on the phone with the supervisor of elections just to assure her that in no way, shape, or form would we ever send an email to voters. It's not in our MO to do that. I'll probably make fun of voters for going to vote for Joe Biden because they deserve it. But
we don't even know how to send an email, so I don't.
Yeah, I don't know how to send mass emails.
I did an interview with Shane on his show. It took 14 hours to turn the microphone on. So.
Yeah. Oh well, I called him this morning to join. He's like, "Hey, can you help me put all this shit together?"
It's so funny that you guys.
Go ahead, Kim.
I'm gonna have to dip after this, but I just wanted to say, because for the entire time that all of this, the Proud Boys organized this, the Proud Boys did this, and I say this in the most loving way possible because I stand with the Proud Boys now and forever. But the Proud Boys can't even organize a pub crawl. How can they organize a government insurrection? What are you talking about? They can't pick a place to go drink for a night. What do you mean? They overthrew the government? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I actually said that in federal court.
Yes,
I said that in federal court. And
yes, he did.
I said these guys are not organized enough to masturbate, let alone fucking be able to overthrow the fucking U.S. government.
All right, guys, I'm out. But thank you for everything.
Thank you, Kim. Catch Kim's show tomorrow at 2:30.
2:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, I'll see you there.
So what's funny about the situation with Shane is, he calls me in the morning, and then he just made a comment right now when we're talking about the Emancipation Proclamation. It's like, oh, I bet some people rebelled back, and he has a little Mexican guy that sets up all his audio and video. So you might be
Puerto Rican. Shout out to Maurice, but he's Puerto Rican.
Am
Same
I the only
difference.
guy on the network who's capable of producing and doing his own show at the same time? Am I the only one? Who
No,
does that?
I'm definitely capable of doing it. I do it all the time.
I'm
I
an
just prefer to
Oldfield
go
guy.
live.
I
I
didn't
wouldn't
choose
call it
Patty.
much of a production, but it's only me over here.
I didn't choose this life, Patty. I'm an Oldfield guy or a residential roofing sales guy. Like this is not my.
You said you sold roofies?
Yeah, roofies and roofs.
Who sells
Oh.
roofies? They're free.
Yeah, I pass them out for free. And
Who
they're
would
good,
ever
you
pay
know.
for one? They give them out free.
Yeah,
Every bar in
You know,
Miami.
Ask your
one of my
local
jobs in the
suburban
Navy.
mom.
One of my jobs in the Navy was to make TV commercials for AFN, for the American Forces Network in Sicily. And one of the things we had to do was make commercials on how not to get roofied, because there was a problem with in bars with Italians roofing American girls who were overseas. And I had to do commercials on how to spot someone roofing your drink and shit like that.
Oh my gosh.
I got paid to do that by the U.S. government.
If somebody's hands are close to your drink, you might be
I
getting
know.
fucked.
This
I
was
mean-
back in like 2001, man. Like, we were innocent
weren't
back
as smart.
then. Yeah, we weren't. We didn't know.
But Jesus. So, I mean, I guess we've covered
Absolutely
again
nothing.
the war in Israel and Iran. We hit up some of the topics in Minnesota. We talked about my personal animus against Iran for fucking up my morning. I actually was supposed to go to breakfast at a really nice joint that morning, and I couldn't. So because of that, I think that the Israelis should bomb Iran. Fucking American privilege there. You fucked up my trip to Starbucks. Here's a fucking nuke. I had fun with it after the fact. We started making memes and shit like that, and we started. We were, you know how you write on the bombs before it, and then we would meme. This is for the Proud Boys. So we've covered that. We've covered a couple things. Is there anything else that you guys want to cover?
I think the stuff that came out about election interference, that's, legitimately showed that. I mean, and I felt like when I went to January 6th, I knew that the election was off. And I think that now that it's come out that there was indeed foreign interference in a domestic election, I think that's a huge, like, it's just kind of like, oh, this happened. And they proved, I mean, we were right. I was right. I know that.
And I hate to be, I'm not a doom and gloom person, but I want to be realistic here. You know what's going to happen with it?
Nothing.
Fucking nothing. And you know why I say that? Because after Molly Hemingway wrote her book, which I can understand, Dems aren't going to pick up a conservative book for the fucking life of them. But let's go on to talk about Molly Ball, a different Molly, okay? Not the one you find in the club, but the one you find that works for Time Magazine, who wrote an article, a leftist perspective, detailing in great length all of the steps that Meta took, the intelligence agencies took, media took, and detailed them out why it was okay to do, because Donald Trump was fucking Hitler. And she detailed everything we ever said in Liberal Perspective in Time Magazine, and nobody said a fucking word.
Well, I think we should talk about Molly Jane more than Molly Ball, and don't act like you don't know who she is.
Molly,
or we could talk about Molly Ringwald. But Molly Ball is
How about Molly
shit.
Fast?
What about the time that Madonna said, "Has anyone seen Molly at Ultra Music Festival in Miami?" That was cool.
How about Molly Tov? How about that?
I kept buying Mindy, and it's like the off-brand Molly, and it didn't work very well. And I was like, what the fuck is
Wait,
this?
You got like a reverse boner.
Yeah, no, it totally.
You had an innie? Not an outie.
In bath salts.
I still think bath salts is like the funniest shit I've ever fucking heard of.
Oh, then when you come down to Miami and some homeless dude eats like a zombie guy's face
And then
while he's
cuts
still
their own face.
alive,
Yeah,
and
right.
That was
then
right
you
down
come-
the street from here.
Yeah,
too.
you tell me you
Just
still like
everything.
but you think bath salts are funny. Then the dude ate his face off, bro. Like we
It's
can't
all
live
fun
that
and games
down.
until someone starts eating
Eating
faces.
your face.
What year did that happen?
That
That
was
was
a
a
while
while
ago.
2010. Yeah.
That was a
Not
very long
not
time
many
ago.
news stories, tragic as they
Oh.
may be, really affect me. Where I think days on end just stuck. Like,
Oh,
oh my God, he
We have
ate
breaking
his
news.
face.
we
Uh-oh.
have breaking news.
Nancy Pelosi still healthy.
Somebody on Twitter is going to take us all to court
Oh,
and
man.
make a lawsuit against J6ers.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly hope that happens, and I wait
Yeah.
for the
For what?
service.
I
to
support
reach
you.
out. I don't know,
Okay.
but
That's
it's
I like
breaking
that.
news. Breaking
Who's
news.
A? Are they really mad
wait,
at us?
actually,
I thought they
I
were
have-
cool.
I have one thing that I do want to talk about. So yesterday I went to court.
Meaning it must have been Wednesday.
I'm
Right.
pro se, right? So I'm representing myself because my attorney had a lot of other things to do, so he checked out of the lawsuit last week. And then, he's like, "Hey, you have court, on the 17th, which they moved to the 18th." So like the morning of, I call the court and I'm like, "Hey, you guys haven't sent me the Zoom link," and they're like, "What do you mean Zoom link? It's in person." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not like." I'm in Miami. I'm not in DC. So they're like, "Okay, well, you're going to have to file a quick motion for remote appearance." So I filed a quick motion. They reset it for yesterday. And I show up to court, and instead of talking what we're supposed to talk about in court, just so you guys know, this is for the lawsuit for the church banner. We're talking about accepting my motion to appear remotely. I'm remote, and they're talking about the appearance remotely. And I thought it was at 11, right? And I ended up getting a whole bunch of calls at 9:30. So I had just woken up, and the person, the clerk, is like, "Hey, the judge is really mad." So whatever, I get on the Zoom call, and I take the video off because I'm outside shirtless smoking a cigarette. And the judge suddenly goes, "Mr. Tario, you need to turn on your camera." I'm like, "Your Honor, she's like, "I don't care. She didn't let me finish." So I'm like, "All right, fuck it, dude." So I'm like shirtless, smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, "Yeah, Your Honor, blah, blah, blah." And again, the whole thing was about
Oh, Jake Lang style.
being fucking remote. So this fucking retard that's representing the black church is he's literally trying to hold me in contempt. He doesn't care about getting money because he knows I'm broke as fuck. Anyways, so he's trying to force the judge to hold me in contempt for not being there while I'm there remotely. The judge denies my motion to appear remotely, and I'm like, I guess I'll just sign off. Yeah. And so then she says, "Well, you gotta do a deposition in person in DC." And I'm like, "Well, I probably can't afford it." It's like, "Well, you could afford," and they pull out a comment about me being broke that I put on Twitter about me being broke, and it was a joke about OnlyFans, right? So the plaintiff brings it up, and it said OF, it didn't say OnlyFans. So after because he got to cross-examine me, and he's like, "What about this post about money and this OF thing?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just going to let the court know what OnlyFans is. OnlyFans is somewhere where you get naked and you have sex for money. And granted, how broke I am, I might just do that in order to pay the $2.8 million for this $50 banner." So I motioned the court to do the deposition because that's what they're trying to do. I motioned this court to do the deposition remotely, and they denied me having to do the deposition remotely because they want to force me to go to DC for money. So I don't know what the judge is going to do, but if I don't have the money to go to DC, I'm not going to go. And they can do whatever the fuck they want to me. I know they're listening to this because they have their notifications on.
They have to.
They pulled up a whole bunch of Twitter. So to that retarded firm, Paul Weiss, which is funny as it may be, if you guys know what the Paul Weiss firm is.
Yes.
It's that firm, and then they just lost their 3 number 1 partners, which was one of the ones that had a hard on for me. I hope that she does. I hope she turns into a traffic. One of those.
They do all Fox News's internal investigation. Otherwise.
Yeah. So
Can't we go to DC and make a spectacle out of it and go hang out up there?
Oh, of course, I'm going to make a spectacle.
That'd be a good time.
If you're going to force me to go to DC, I will definitely make a spectacle out of it.
I really don't want to have to go back to fucking DC. But
I don't want to either. That's why I was like, hey, can we do this remotely?
Seriously. I don't want to go. Like, I've had enough of DC, but I'm going to go if that's the fucking thing.
I was there for the parade. It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, you were there? I wish I knew because I was there and it was fucking horrendous.
Oh, where were you
It was
at?
boring.
That's because you hate America, Patty.
Yeah, I hate America.
Hey,
You're
listen,
right.
I'm gonna share Patty's sentiment there. It should have been.
God.
There's two reasons. There's two reasons. It's the Fourth of the putting it on Father's Day probably killed a little bit of the attendance.
Yeah.
And two, like people are afraid to go to DC, dude. You know, like my guys would have loved to go.
Well, black
over
people
there.
were free to go on Father's Day, so that was good.
That what?
Said black people were free to go on Father's Day, so that helped the
Is there
minority.
Is there a realm where Father's Day lands on Juneteenth?
Sorry,
Right?
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, not it.
It's possible, right? For that to happen because it falls on Sundays. On like what is it? The third Sunday?
Yeah, I guess it's possible. Yeah.
Oh man, how funny would it be during the Trump presidency to get Juneteenth on Father's Day?
How do you think?
Hey, look, I'm never gonna not laugh at a fucking joke.
Of course, a joke's a
incorrect,
joke.
a joke's a joke. You know, it's
Um,
funny.
No,
That was a
you're all-
funny fucking joke.
No, you're all racist bigots, and I hope you get canceled.
Yeah. Well, here, Trader's
still be
Rot
funny.
is over here just going ham on the fucking thing, and it's
I
great.
sent you a text message.
Yeah, that's why I was reading it. None of you care about me. Maybe if you wouldn't fucking sit here and spam our comments.
Who is that?
we would
Can I just
probably-
who is that?
I don't know who that is.
She's on
Traders Rot.
Twitter. And
I
she-
see that. You're telling me all the things I know, but I don't know is
Whatever.
who is it?
I don't know. She's from Philly.
Oh, that's the same one. Hey, that's the one.
Yeah. Yes, Shane has had encounters.
I seen her
yeah.
pop up. I
Oh,
thought she
they
was like
blocked
a
me.
friend of ours or something.
We'll tell her if
Uh,
she'll unblock me, then we'll pay
Then
more.
you'll
attention
care
to
about her.
Yeah, I'll care about her then.
Okay, cool.
What does she do? I don't get it. Can we?
I don't know.
Why do I'm asking you guys things, and I'm leaving with more questions than I have answers. Who the
I
fuck
don't.
is she?
I don't have answers to your questions there.
I see that. What about you,
Uh,
Shane? Do you have any comments of who this person might be? Why?
Honestly, I don't remember, dude. If I probably did, but I just hit the follow button. So Traders Rod, if you're out there listening, allow me to follow you. I'll follow you back, and then we can have a civil discourse, and then we'll, cross, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is here. I'd like to know because you're just not giving me any details here, eh?
It says 0 following, 0 followers. Join June 25. Second account.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Okay, I see what's going on here.
A bot, spam bot, whatever.
It's a Russian bot. Blah, 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 blah.
It's an Iranian.
It's
job
Tucker
done.
Carlson's disgruntled former roommate's cousin's son.
That's right.
I'm assuming you guys talked about the Carlson Cruz interview.
No,
earlier.
we didn't talk about it.
That's a good
No.
Yeah.
Holy
we
What
didn't,
happened?
And it's
What
crazy.
happened?
You're right. We didn't.
You should play it.
I'm
dude.
gonna do a show on
that's
this
wrong.
today. Like I think I'm gonna like jump the gun on episode 10, which would be my 10th episode on the network
Oh, yeah.
today, and put something up because I don't think I can keep my mouth shut about this any longer. This is
I'll be
one of the
right back.
craziest fucking things I've ever seen in American politics is that Tucker Carlson just absolutely savaging fucking Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. He was
Yeah.
absolutely right about everything that he said. Ted Cruz is a fucking dirtbag who I cannot believe was unprepared for this argument because the thing about Ted Cruz that Ted Cruz likes to tell everybody about Ted Cruz is that he's a great debater. He's a master debater. Like,
That's
I mean,
right.
this is, you know what? And he got absolutely housed. He got his tits beaten loose in this
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, holy shit. How are you not prepared? You don't know how many people are in Iran?
Yeah.
Really? You don't?
Yeah.
Like, I know that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And everybody knows that now. Like, what the fuck happened?
Well, and it was too, the argument was kind of like, if you didn't see it, Barry, he kind of was like, it was almost like Ted Cruz was exhibiting the blind faith following which Christians
Neocon.
have. Well, and also for the blind faith following for Israel that typical Christians have. And I kind of, up until the last few months, adhered to that belief as well. But I really have started to see that the the government of Israel does not represent the people of Israel.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah,
That's
and so-
exactly correct, Shane.
And he just kind of blind faith, and he's like, "What do you mean?" Like, and he was just, man, Ted Cruz was on the ropes. It was bad, and I like that. I appreciate it because that's authentic journalism. Whether he's just showing him like, look, this is, you blindly believe this, and you can't even justify it. Like when you talk, we really lay it out there for you, you can't even justify your stance on it, other than you're a stooge for Israel is really what it looked like. It looked bad for him.
Yeah. Hey, look, the problem I have with evangelical American Christians right now is that they blindly support the political state of Israel because they believe it's somehow the body of Christ, but that's not the same thing.
No.
That's not the same thing. You know what I mean? And we need to be able to differentiate. We need to exercise discernment.
Let me cut in. I gotta sign off a second, guys. I got something really important that I got to take care of.
Just go have a cigarette. You don't have to lie about it.
Nose beards?
No comment.
I will tell you what though. I will tell you
Nose
what.
beards, when he sneezes, it looks like he's a fucking party favor. You know what I mean?
All right, go fuck yourselves. Bye. Tune into the Warboy Studios.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, tune into. So I just learned why Jewish men get circumcised. I didn't realize there was such like a deep-rooted tradition about it. Like something about the women won't accept anything that's not at least 20% off. Is that sound accurate?
Hey, did you hear about that kid that was born with no eyelids, dude? And so when they circumcised him, they used the foreskin and they attached it to his eyes for eyelids. They said everything came out great except he was a little cockeyed.
if he like gets itchy eyes and shit, they might like turn into like really like big boobs or something. I don't know. It's weird.
No, but I think what
this
people
is why Patty has no comment for anything.
I think what people miss though is whenever they, according to the Bible, right? Which I'm a Christian. I'm Baptist Christian. That's why Patty loves me so much. But so the belief was, and I've started to look at this kind of closely, like where they sent Jesus to redeem the Jewish people, right? To bring them the gospel and to share, and they rejected him and they had him crucified. And so that was like, whenever that happened, basically God's like, okay, well, now the Gentiles are getting this gift that we're giving them. And I feel like that was when when the people lost the opportunity, especially the Pharisees and the religious elites in Israel at that
Sadducees.
point. Yeah, Sadducees, Pharisees, and all those people rejected Christ and had him crucified. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a Christian household. My father was a theologian, and a Catholic religion teacher at the Catholic high school that I went to.
Okay.
So I mean, I spent a lot of time having theological arguments with my father and with members of my family. And so when I have arguments about the gospel and about the Bible in general with Christians, I find that I've read more of the Bible and I've spent more time studying the Bible than the people I'm arguing with who happen to, claim to be Christians, though I'm an atheist, right?
Right.
So sometimes it gets frustrating when you have an argument with Christians who know less about the Bible than you do when you're an atheist, right? And so I get pissed off a little bit, sometimes.
A Democrat atheist that gets pissed off? Never heard of
a Democrat atheist who first of all, a Democratic atheist who.
No, there's nothing democratic about the Democrat Party. You're not taking that. You guys already stole the fucking rainbow. God had a copyright on that. You're not getting democratic. You're a Democrat. That's
right.
Republicans.
Anyway,
listen to me. Stop using that word and falling.
Anyway, if you think that Barry, if you think that you're more biblically literate than I am, I dare you.
I never. Whoa. I never said that.
You're not.
I love the Bible. I've read, but no, I could probably. I used to be a C&E Christian. All right, which means I showed up to church on Christmas and Easter. But that's no longer the case. I've taken my faith seriously, but I've got a long way to go. It's a work in progress for me. Every day is a
and I'm not saying that you don't have legitimate faith or anything like that. I'm just saying that I have spent a very long time reading I've read the entire Bible, like all of it, and it's important to me to understand it. and I think I can have a legitimate conversation about the finer points of the Bible, whereas a lot of Christians who claim that they are very pious have absolutely no damn idea what they're talking about.
In that vein, Patty, do you believe that the Israeli government has lost the covering of what God? You know what I mean? What if they were God's
I think
chosen
the
people,
Israeli government is a political entity and has absolutely nothing to do with the body of Christ.
So we agree on that point.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
100%. Yes, of course.
So I just, and I think Israel has used that to their benefit because, you know, Americans typically want to, you know, they want to do the right thing. And if we're claimed to be a Christian, we want to, like, Israel's the chosen people. We've got to, let's send all our money over there. Like, because, you know, that's what God wants us to do, according to what we've kind of been misconstrued through the Bible. And they've used probably as a propaganda war against us in America.
No, you're right. That's a complete misunderstanding of the Bible to say that the Israeli government is the body of Christ. That is not true. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
Well, and we kind of get convoluted in that. We kind of think that when we think of Israel, we should be thinking of the Israeli people, and not
their current government.
Right, not their government. Just like the American people kind of get thrown in with the American government, and we obviously don't like a lot of the stuff that the American government is doing either.
You can throw me into this current administration, though. I'm all about that.
Yeah. About that life.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want that to happen for the Obama administration, you know, and you know. Okay.
Well, I'm never one of those people like that want to see a president fail just because I don't agree with them politically. Once they're the president, I want to see them do the best job they can do. I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle.
Which is different than Rush Limbaugh back. I remember when.
You can name one. I can name 1,000 million that want Trump to fail just because he's
I'm
Trump.
Just saying back when Obama was elected, Rush Limbaugh was interviewed on Fox News, and he said, "Of course, I want him to fail. I want all Democrats to fail." And then we gave him the Medal of Freedom during the State of the Union address because we wanted to immaculate Rush Limbaugh.
Rest in peace, the great
may he
Rush
rest
Limbaugh.
in holy fucking hell.
Love you,
glad
Rush.
He's dead.
You are the GOAT. I'm
glad
you, Rush.
He's fucking dead, and I wish I could bring
the
him
War
back
Boys
so I could
Studios
kill him
loves
again.
you, Rush. God bless you, sir.
Jesus. That's not very nice.
Fuck Rush Limbaugh.
Love you, Rush Limbaugh. The Canadian band Rush really sucks.
I actually don't wish I could kill Rush Limbaugh because I don't wish that about anybody. But it was funny.
See, there you go, Patty.
Not even Hitler. Like you don't wish that about Hitler, you Nazi?
Well, Hitler maybe, but
then if you went back in time and did that, and you came back to this time, you'd really be complaining about Israel.
Well, as a big fan of Star Trek, I can tell you that messing with the past sometimes has consequences you didn't expect, and you don't know what if we I'll go back to Star Trek Enterprise. Somebody went back and killed Lenin, who was a scumbag, right? And I would like to kill, right? But because he died, the Russians never became Bolsheviks, and then the Nazis never felt that the Russians were a threat, so they just fought the war against the West, and they ended up taking over the U.S., right? So sometimes something you think might be good can cause a bad consequence. So I wouldn't mess around with stuff like that, man.
I hear that. Well, in the notion of trying to retain an audience here at War Boy Studios, and you just bringing up Star Trek, is there anything else either of you would like to add to the day before we close this beautiful new segment out?
I just want to say, I think that I think we kind of glazed over it, but I think it's funny that they released the emails about them trying to persecute Donald Trump for helping us with Justice for All. I really think people should look into that. And I think that people, if you want to pick a side on the Israeli and the Iranian war, I think you should do some research. Like, I think you should don't just take your glaze over Twitter or your stroll down whatever. I think you should do some digging and
because I do not agree with a lot of the behavior of the Israeli government. I'm not going to simp for Iran, who teaches their children to chant death to America.
Right.
So, but I mean, I just really hope that it's something America stays the fuck out of, but I'm not naive to believe that this is going to happen. We're already involved. So shit.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. Shane, where can people see your show? Where can they follow you? Social media?
We'll be live on Twitter. Chestnut Checkers is Mondays at 7 to 9 Eastern. And you can follow me on Rumble. I believe it's the Real J6 Shane. I may be wrong on that, but look me up on Rumble. Yeah, it's been an honor. I enjoy hanging out with you guys, even you, Patty.
Patrick Riley at Patty Don't Surf. What's
yeah, can't wait to have a beer with you.
It's going to be salute and you, or by the way, Patty, I just would like to say that I am very looking forward to.
I'm not going on that show.
That's not what. There's full commercials, Patty, that you're going to be on the Sharia Dome
I'm
on
not
Rumble
doing
tonight.
that. Seriously, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patty will be on the Sharia Dome tonight
I'm not doing
on
that.
Rumble at War
No,
Boys at the War
I'm not.
Boys on
I'm not
Rumble.
doing it.
He's going to be there,
My
guys.
bedtime is at 8
Trust
o'clock.
me when I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Patty does surf, and he will be on the Sharia Dome tonight.
I
will
have
be
an
there.
early morning
I
shoot
can't wait.
tomorrow. I cannot do this.
You can
show
spare
tonight.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
No, I can't.
Well, he'll
really-
be there,
I'm
ladies
not
and gentlemen.
going
I
to.
assure you, because we have got access to his home camera, and there's nothing he can do to turn it off. NSA Snowden style. Tune into the Rumble channel, the War Boys tonight. The Sharia Dome. You're going to see Patrick Riley and myself. He'll be there, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, he'll be there. When he gets the email here in a couple hours, he's going to be on that show. Trust me.
I will definitely not.
Tune in, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see him. All right. Well, so that's that. Patty, is it the salute, or where can people see your show? That's it.
Nobody needs to see the show. Fuck off.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I love it. I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to end the stream. God bless you all. Take the time to follow at The American Rising. My name is Barry Ramey. I'm the host of that show, The American Rising, at The American Rise on X. Please follow. Remember, Nancy Pelosi looks like the white Maxine Raw.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now.